How's it going, everybody? Got a little bit of the Heatley Brothers music to get us started today. It's looking like it's going to be a chill base arena. I think we have 6 players signed up. I have 6 deck lists submitted. 7 registered so far. We had like 9 immediately. Like I was pretty happy that like day 1, like more than half of the tournament filled up. But such is life, things get in the way. Players have had to drop. Players have had things come up. So there's always a couple people, right? There's always at least 1 or 2. Let me know if the music is too loud. In the interest of, getting players to play retro, I am extending the deck list submission. If anyone out there on Twitch wants to sign up, I'm giving players basically until round 1 starts to submit their deck list until I hit start activity, at least. Probably be a few minutes before 12, but got about 20 minutes to kill. Taking a look at the deck list, we got some nice ones. We got a Vega. Got a Vega with the Street Fighter 2 win quote. I think the deck name is the Street Fighter 2 Turbo win quote. That's pretty cool. Evil Vega. Very cool list. It is not doing what I would assume, at least off the top of my head, but all of these cards make sense. All of these cards make a lot of sense, actually, so very excited to see that one. What do we got here? We got Raiden. I like the Raiden. Is it Raiden or Raiden? Are people like fussy about that? I've heard it said both ways so many times in my life. I think Mortal Kombat calls him Raiden, but I feel like that means it's for sure Raiden, Like if Mortal Kombat is doing something, I want to do the opposite. Raiden deck is cool. If you guys don't know what Raiden does, he has 3 powerful once per turn abilities. He can basically hit you with the Aries Smiles at any time in the turn, once per turn. And he doesn't even have to block, actually. He can get a free momentum every turn. And I say free, you gotta sacrifice a foundation for those first 2. Both of those have a sacrifice foundation cost. So you sack a foundation to make them play a non-attack as their next form. You can sacrifice a foundation once per turn to get a momentum. And then once per turn you can ready 3 foundations, but only if you have 6 or less foundations. So it's kind of a tough act to follow, but during that set, or there's like 2 sets in a row where like Order and Water had like a heavy, if you have 6 or fewer foundations theme. And I think that's a theme they could bring back, actually. In this world where like they hate Deadlock and they hate people going to like really big stages, what if instead of telling people fuck you for going to Deadlock, what if we just said, hey, your attacks are better if you don't go to Deadlock? That's a thought. What if we just gave people like huge payoffs for having less than like 5 or 6 foundations? And the design led you to that place, right? And we just had a set where sacrificing foundations, we just had like 3 sets, so 3 main sets, where like sacrificing foundations is good, actually. So why not bring that back? Bring back the Raiden. Raiden's also a 625, by the way. I don't know why he's a 625. I guess in playtest he was just doing disgusting things turn 2 by being able to ready like half of his stage. Building 5 foundations was not that common back then, though. I feel like getting a 3 or 4 build was way more common. Get 3 good ones. We got a Scorpion. Okay. Scorpion's low-key my pick for winning this thing. You're only gonna have to win like what, 3 matches at most, maybe 2. Oh, there's some spice in here. There's some cards I haven't seen before in this Scorpion deck. There's some pretty good ones. Oh, that's actually gnarly. This is actually a gnarly list. I could see this Scorpion deck. It's on fire. Woo! I could see the Scorpion deck winning. It doesn't have any of like the really sophisticated combos I would expect from people who played in like 2019 or whatever. But Scorpion doesn't need those, you know? Scorpion, it's super funny. Scorpion has like so many like really like greasy card gamery value things he can do. But in reality, he's just trying to like play unfair footsies. You know, his footsies are like all my attacks have +2 speed, and if you block them, you still get punished. So what's this next one? We got a Void deck. Oh, we got Dejanet, a staple. Dejanet is a staple of these retro events. Okay, I see what we're going for. We're going for the prison, the typical prison. Nice, nice. When I played Dejanet in Denver, everyone thought I was playing a list like this one. But I was not playing I was playing like evil Dejanet with like a wombo combo. This one is definitely much more traditional. This is the Dejanet everyone else was afraid of. And this is a good deck. This is a very good Dejanet deck. I'm liking what I'm seeing a lot. There's some Turtles cards in here. Okay, I think this is the first time I recognized a Turtle card. Can dig it. We've got another Scorpion. Boo. All right, I was cool for the first Scorpion. We're going to boo the second Scorpion. Second Scorpion is Disaster Dan, so we're going to boo him. All right, this one has a little bit more of like, maybe not the sophistication, I guess, but it's got like the very obvious, like, this is Scorpion stuff. And this one's on evil. So I think fire was Scorpion's least popular symbol before. So seeing a fire Scorpion list would definitely look a bit different. This evil Scorpion list has like very much what I expect Scorpion decks to be doing. Still not like the high end, like really greasy gotcha type stuff, but again, Scorpion doesn't need that. He's a very good footsies character with his burn on block. Oh, and then we got a Koji Koda. Retro Koji Koda. Oh, this guy's living the life. Okay, so far it's a lot of standard cards though. Where is, okay, that's a retro card for sure. That's a retro card now. Was it UA High is not legal anymore, right? Okay. Okay, the Koji Koda list is cool. I think if there's one list I would like want to upgrade, if there's one I would want to like give someone, you know, like a list of cards to upgrade their deck with, there's some pretty good allies. Ally was not a popular keyword for design back in the day. They didn't make anywhere near as much ally stuff as they do now. And I can't think of a character that cared about the ally keyword like at all. I can't think of a character off the top of my head who like wanted to use ally keyword cards. But there were some real nice ones. Dr. Wily? I don't see a Dr. Wily here. Dr. Wily is pretty gross and retro though. Dr. Wily, notably the Slayer of Goro. Goro likes to have face downs, and Dr. Wily likes to destroy them. Although I still posit that people play the wrong Goro symbol. So, seeing all those fire Goros made my stomach hurt. That's true. All three Goro symbols are disgusting, but in retro, there is one symbol that I just feel like is more unfair than the others. But I mean, we saw. I can't remember which one it was, and still people are playing them even like post errata. But Devil Jin, I think, got banned or suspended at a Rochester Retro because he was doing like the Goro combo with more damage. You know, like the Goro combo was on fire. At least you would play like Hellfire, mill a bunch of cards, and then play any other stun move into burst time. And Devil Jin just plays an attack and then burst time. But he has to draw both of those. Goro gets to tutor them, so I don't know. I feel like it's weird that Goro gets to like just tutor 3 attacks and one of them is burst time versus Devil Jin, who had to like actually draw burst time and another attack. All right, we're coming up on the start of the event here pretty soon. Looks like we're gonna end up with 6 players. So a potential bye in the semifinals. It is what it is. That's just how it's gonna be. But yeah, I like the all symbol. That's the symbol I won with. And there's still like Summer Heat. You still have Breakfast. You still have Artifice Avarice. So like 12 of your 60 cards instead of 16. Because they got rid of Mourning the Loss, right? I think Mourning the Loss. Oh, but they added the one from Attack on Titan where you mill 4 when you play it. And you might draw a card. You know, so you kind of replaced it with obviously a much worse Mourning the Loss, but still potentially a draw win build. So you still get radiation. Still get to do radiation things. What's the other one? There's one other really gross card that Goro gets to play. Oh, he gets all this stuff that says if you cycled. So if you go for like a long game, like post cycle, he can buff up. I could have sworn there was some MHA card that was like crazy in him, but it's not coming to me. Either way, just having like Summer Heat and Breakfast that say draw card when you play them, so good. I don't know if you probably still play Nutcracker in him if you play Radiation. You know, having a 4 diff 4 low 4 that draws 2 cards That's fine that it's not 8 damage anymore. Summer Heat is legal in Rochester Retro, yeah. When I played Goro over COVID, I had Summer Heat, Mourning the Loss, Breakfast, Artifice Avarice, and Radiation all in the deck. So that's 20 foundations that basically say when I play it, I draw a card. Although Radiation, you had to attack to do so, but it also cleared itself, and you added it with Nutcracker anyways. So Radiation probably doesn't count as when you play it draw. But yeah, you had like 12 foundations plus Artifice Avarice. So like I was playing Goro and I was building 6 foundations turn 1. You just play Guilty Throne as your first card of the game. Your first attack. Build 6, play Guilty Throne. Like what four-hander? What are we talking about? Yo, low key, man. I don't even think Summer Heat would be that crazy today. It would still be crazy. It would be like a staple foundation. Don't get me wrong. It would absolutely be a brand new staple. But I think if you made Summer Heat, especially like non-attuned, like today it would probably be like a life attuned card or an all attuned card. But I think if you put Summer Heat into current standard, it would just be like, yeah, bro, you drew an extra card on defense, now die. Die for having a blank foundation. Like, people don't play the foundations that ready themselves. But drawing a card is obviously much better. Alright, we're about ready to get the activity started here. I still don't have a deck list from 5 grains, so we are going to have to unregister them. It's going to be 6 people today, so we'll have 3 games in round 1. We'll have 1 game for round 2 and round 3. Just how it's going to be. Oops. All right, let me go check everybody in. I remember, man. I remember back when we'd have like 1 PTC like every 3 months. And every 3 months we'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see which 8 characters on Summer Heat symbols top. I remember that. I remember looking and it was like 7 of 8. People would be like, oh, wow, congratulations to the one Earth deck that topped. You're so cool. And they got like 7th place. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. What? Oh. Okay, so in the interest of having a top 4 for the single limb, there's 2 buys. So we're gonna have 2 buys in round 1, so there'll be 2 matches, 2 matches, 1 match. All right, I don't hate it, I guess. That's how the system is doing it. That's just how it's gonna be. That's kind of crazy, but I guess I get it. So it looks like our pairings are. Oh, do we get the Scorpion mirror? No. No, okay. Scott is on. So it's Koji Koda versus Scorpion. Or Raiden versus DeJohnette. I think we're gonna watch the Scorpion match. That sounds correct to me. What do you guys think? Just waiting for the players to get their tables all set up. Round's gonna start at 12:05. I should have set the pairings 5 minutes till, but you know, I suck. I'm bad at this. That's interesting. It gave one buyout or it gave two buys out instead of one to make the top four work. Who am I? Looks like our DeJohnette player is not there yet, so it looks like we're gonna have to go with table 4, which is there we go. Okay. I think give him a little nudge. All right, let's see. Ace Arena 4. Alrighty. This one should be interesting. We've got Evil Scorpion, the most common Scorpion symbol, versus Life Koji Koda, the most common Koji Koda symbol. All right, chat. Who do you think's gonna win? Scorpion's tough, but you know, Coda can play a lot of attacks. Scorpion's speed reduction, not that important when your rival's gonna play 7 attacks. Although Disaster Dan, you know, he's itching for some competitive play. He, if I remember correctly, he doesn't have too much of a local scene, or it's like really far away or non-existent. So he really likes to take the opportunity in these online events to show what he's got. And I will say, the Scorpion list looks clean. It looks like a solid retro list. So, speaking of solid retro plays, First Form Revoke. For those who don't know, this is an action card. It has First Form. Your foundations get -1 difficulty for the rest of the combat phase. And then during the end phase, you build it face down. So it's kind of like a 0 diff foundation that doesn't count towards progressive difficulty on your first turn. Very solid stuff. And now we've got Scorpion here. So Scorpion's whole gimmick, for those who are new to retro. Oh, let me adjust my mic. Scorpion likes to be in desperation. What that means is below half health. If you are in desperation, that means you are currently below half health. So for Scorpion, that's 13, not 14. You're not at half, you are below half. When he is below half health, his attacks are going to get +6 damage. And to help him get there, he can pay up to 3 life per attack. In the stage, you're going to see a lot of stuff that requires being in desperation, or you're going to see cards that want you to have lost health. You know, bench press just always online in this character. Flip, lose 3 health, draw a card. That 3 health, that's a benefit in this deck. That's not a cost. You got double daily training. This is very sick for Koji Kodo, the way Koji wants to work. You know, stringing in cards as he plays out attacks. He can string in foundations now. Dan just hates you. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think he's like devoid of a local scene, but I know it's been like tough for him to get to them, to play at them. So here we go. Scorpion starting off with Vicious Madness. 4 mid for 8 throw. You can pay 2 health. It can't be partially blocked. Oh, we got a revoke coming in here. What did we revoke? I guess it was the pay 2 health either on Vicious Madness or on Scorpion. Scorpion also has a pay 2 health. That pay 2 health is for him to say you lose 2 health even if you block. So if you block this Vicious Madness with that Scorpion enhance, you would lose 6 health. You'd effectively only block 2 of the damage. So maybe that's what we revoked, but you can see Dan does not need his own health total. He is paying as much health as he possibly can. We've got 2 different foundations that are repeatable +1 damage sources. So between bench press and Soul of the Sword, this is going to get up to 10 damage. Scorpion gave it +2 speed. And ladies and gentlemen, we are 7 health away from being in desperation. Very possible this turn. See a Hunter's Ally block come out. Oh, and here's Takedown. Takedown is a very nice Scorpion attack. So Scorpion says if you block my attack, you lose 2 health. Takedown says if it's not blocked, you get to discard cards until you find an attack. So this is sort of like the original Ignited Arrow, but Ignited Arrow punches you for blocking. So it's a little more fair in that way, I guess. Maybe not more fair, but Takedown is like win more, you know? So pairs really well with a character that punches blocking, but does not let you lose health. So, probably not going to be in desperation on our next attack. But if our next attack loses health, we could. It would be possible. If you're seeing the desperation keyword, the desperation keyword changes the difficulty of the attack, the printed difficulty for some reason. I don't know how you can change a printed value, but in the rules it does. Of your attack when you are in desperation. So takedown would be a 3. Oh, this is a great attack for losing health, actually. And this might be game. This could be game. So this one was a 4 diff, but you can lose 2 health during it. You get damage bonus equal to the total amount of health you lost the enhanced step. And then once you're in desperation, which because of that lose 2 health we will be, you get a speed bonus equal to the amount of health you've lost. So I expect Dan to lose 5 health, and then he'll get 5 damage and 5 speed from his attack. But Koji Koda might have something to say about that. You could see a potential revoke. There's the 5 damage. We're going to give it 6 more because now we're in desperation with Scorpion. We can still give this 5 speed, so unless there's a reset or another revoke, I think Dan's going to take game 1. Yeah, daily training. It builds from hand, right? Yeah, it builds from your hand. So we might be able to build a reset. Nope, that's not a reset. There's one more foundation to help us block, though. But now that we're in desperation, this attack is going to get a huge speed pump. Pen speed is mighty unblockable. We're going to need an evade copy. Oh, nope. On a 13, going to check a 3 just for the snub of it. And that is Scorpion in a nutshell. I told you guys, this was a clean Scorpion deck. This was everything Scorpion wanted to do. That lose 3 health, necessary. A necessary component for our character popping off on turn 2. Absolutely insane stuff. So I'm very curious. It looks like, I don't know if we even revoked the burn 2 on block. I'm not sure what because we completely blocked. We did not partially block the Vicious Madness. So I'm wondering if maybe we misheard. Maybe our rival played the enhance and we thought that it would prevent us from blocking with a mid block, which not a big deal during a throw attack. Unless you have, face shield or some kind of throw hate. But if we had that revoke, to revoke the +5 speed, we lived that. Well, actually, check a 3. I don't know if we lived. Would have been on an 8. I'd have to go back. We might have missed by 1 still, but we'd have a much better chance to live. If we still had that revoke for the 5 speed enhance, we'd be much closer to blocking it. Looks like we'll probably get a chance to peek in on the Raiden versus DJNet game. I do not imagine they're going to play a game as fast as that game won, but Koda's going first. Got to revoke to start things off again. Not a bad early turn. We do see things like Filled with Doubt. We do see some nice interaction pieces from the Koda deck, so Got some speed hate this time. You know, -6 speed could have also been a huge component. All right, Dan playing down to 1 card. A little disrespectful, but Scorpion's not interested in blocking anyways. And he does have card draw in his stage. He's got 2 different 1 difficulty foundations that can draw him cards. You know, we see the Empress of Netherworld again. Or New Empress, I should say. Oh, starting off with a Tasty Riff. Unfortunate 3 check, but if we have a 0 in our discard pile, we can replace that foundation we just committed, and we've got a very good 0. So release is going to be a game changer. Again, you know, that last game, we were pretty close to blocking the impalement. So having cards like release and resting up, that could change things in a big way. So could a 7 high for 3 Tasty Riff. It's going to get us some counters, change up our hand. So one thing I will say is this card gets played as an opener a lot for a lot of reasons. But it makes the draw and discard down to your hand size a little less impressive. But we do see Cursed Fate. We're going to dump a 3-diff foundation into our discard pile. That's a really good foundation for Koji Koda, though. And with the way that we make our attacks not count towards progressive, it's even if we play a decent string here, our ability to build that 3-diff was probably pretty high. So a little interesting stuff, but that just tells me we got more attacks in the pipeline. All right, we're gonna draw 3, discard 1, go back down to 6 cards. All right, that makes a little more sense, right? Discarding the 0 diff here. We get 3 applause counters, making our subsequent Tasty Riffs a lot more appealing. Oh, that's why we discarded our 3 diff. We're just gonna build it with Hunter's Ally. That's such a cool play. Curse Fate, for those who don't know, it's a 0 diff. You discard a card, you get +1 damage. It's kind of fake value, but it's not, right? We just saw this is a card that we wanted to build from, you know, from our hand anyways, but we could only build it from our discard pile. So that's very cool stuff. We're gonna make this not count towards progressive, get +2 speed again. Now Scorpion might think twice about taking this damage. Going into desperation is okay though. Face of a Monster is a defensive powerhouse. When you're in desperation, you can change the zone of any attack to any other zone, and it has speed hate on its face. These are both once per turn abilities though, so it's a little more balanced that way. But it looks like Scorpion took 9 that turn. Or he took 12. He paid some life. But he is all primed and ready to go into desperation. However, we've got resting ups. We've got inspiring song. We can go tutor an ally card. Moment of normalcy. Deathfire Impalement, not going to be a 16 damage move looking at this moment of normalcy. All right, then we got the UA high static. Oh, but this is a good one. This is a good one to start off with. Flame Aura. Says every time you block, you're going to lose 1 health. Every time a block is played. So, not super impressive as a 5 mid for 4, but it's not going to stay that way for very long. We're going to get 2 speed from our character, and then we're going to enter desperation here on the next enhance. And then this is going to be like a 10 damage move. So every attack Scorpion plays is going to be swinging for like 1/3 of your health total. Very, very toxic character. But we do have enough speed hate that I think we can block most of these without issue. You can take 2 of them, right? You can take 2 of them, and then you can maybe like reduce one down to printed. But you got to be careful when you use the reduce to printed, because not only is a card like Deathfire Impalement like really modular, you know, with how big you can get it, but he might play a Vicious Madness as his last attack, and Vicious Madness is an 8 damage printed move. So if you want to save the reset for the final attack, that might not be the best way to go. Ooh, we're gonna get ourselves a Mondo Gecko, it looks like. Swapping out the UA High for a block. Oh, and now the Desperation Zone change. Dan sees him grab the correct block zone. Figures, why not spend the once per turn to hedge my bet? And we do have the correct block zone. This is going to be on a 6. We commit 1, and we should lose 3 health. We lost 3 health for playing the game correctly. Ain't that a shame? Scorpion kind of represents like chip damage, I guess you could say, from fighting games. You know, punishing you for him keeping up the pressure. But boy, is it annoying to like completely block an attack. And it's not a throw. You couldn't use throw hate. Speaking of throws. So this one's on a 5 because we're in desperation. So this desperation 4. That means it's now a 4 diff instead of a 5 diff. There used to be big discounts for desperation, but I think around the time that, you know, Mortal Kombat cards came out and they started making desperation like a main theme of almost every character. Desperation was also like a very hated keyword, very swingy keyword. They started making it like a -1 difficulty reduction, whereas there used to be like 6 diff 2 checks that become 3 difficulties that, you know, swing for like 20 damage. Speaking of 20 damage, this one's up to 15. 15 damage throw that burns you for 3 when you block. So if you block it, you take 11. Oh, we are gonna Moment of Normalcy this one down to printed. So if you blocked it before, you would take 11. If you block it now, you take 7. And we're gonna pop a release, it looks like. I mean, in the interest of save as much health as you possibly can, this is the play. Right? If you can just, you know, block every single thing, this is an amount of damage saved. It's only 1 damage saved, but it is an amount of damage saved. I mean, with the Moment of Normalcy, it is, what was it? 8 damage saved, but we had 7 damage saved by not blocking. We only saved 1 additional health by blocking, and now we gotta block this takedown, even if it's a partial, because if we don't block it at all, not only are we gonna be at like 7 health, but our rival's gonna go get another attack, and you know it's a desperation attack. So you know it's going to be like 4 difficulty at most. Granted, if Dan doesn't, if he has to commit his character to play it. Oh, it's another takedown. This one's going to be on a 6. He passes the check. We didn't block the first one. Double high block, unfortunate. So there you go. I told you guys it was a clean Scorpion list. And that's what Scorpion do. Scorpion does what Scorpion do. Dan had a clean opener. He had a clean list. Lots of card draw, lots of health loss, everything you need. Pretty solid stuff. So Scorpion's going to be moving on to the semifinals of our 3-round event today. Let's pop on over to table 2. See what's going on here. Okay, much different game state. Right in, everyone's got face downs. Oh, I think we're sideboarding. This looks like a sideboard moment. So I've seen we've got Brandon Wagers on the DGNet here. And not only did Brandon Wagers do very good in like the first couple years of MHA, but I remember him in like the COVID era playing a lot online. And he played this DGNet deck that was very scary back then. So I don't know how much he's, played retro, practiced it up and whatnot, but I would imagine that that Jet here on the Raiden is going to have a very difficult time. And it looks like he's going first. So I don't know if this is game 2 or game 3, but it looks like he lost the last game that got played. And there's a cape. Absolutely huge. Half his retro games were versus Scorpion. Oh, now I feel bad too. Now I also feel bad, man. Scorpion is a nasty deck. Scorpion is just a nasty, nasty deck. DGNet's also a nasty deck, for what it's worth. There's also a... There's also a nasty character. All right, so we got a couple assets. Oh, we got like the 2 best assets. So DGNet, for those who don't know, she starts the game with a momentum. You get to start with a spell circle in your momentum, and then you can discard a momentum after your rival plays a card. Any card has a form, but 90% of the time it's an attack that you care about. You discard it from the card pool, and then they have to pay health to add it back to their hand. So you wipe off any floating bonuses, any check bonuses, and then and then you make them play it again. So it's better than a bounce to hand, but all right, we got Ryan leading off with a Royal Poison. This is a 6 mid for 6. If it's blocked, well, you have to destroy a foundation, but if it's blocked, you ready all cards in your stage, which that only gets better and better as they print more cards. It's got a nasty Deadlock, and it's got EX3 and Powerful 3. So this is kind of like your penultimate attack. You threaten lethal with this one, your rival gets forced to block it, then you read you ready your whole stage and you play your real kill card. But it's also just a very solid poke. Brandon is going to commit out to block this attack though, and we see an indiscriminate shot coming down. So we do have DGNet committed, which is going to leave things potentially ready here. All right, so we committed 3, but Raiden lets us ready 3, but we do force the cape out turn 2. We've got another Royal Poison So that indiscriminate was going to be for 8 damage. This royal poison could be for 9. Raiden can get a momentum by destroying a foundation. Yeah, okay, Scorpion player, keep it down. The Scorpion player is like, yeah, get me closer to desperation. This card's gonna be a 3-diff soon. So, we did a decent chunk. We did not destroy a foundation to get the momentum for that extra damage, but one of the things that this deck does, this is the Prison Degenet. This is not the only way to play Degenet. A lot of people always assume it's this version, but when you clear the card from the card pool, your rival has to choose to add it back to their hand as part of the resolution of the effect. So you spend a momentum, your rival discards the card from their card pool, then they immediately have to decide to add it back to their hand or not. After that window closes, after that whole thing resolves, you can then spend 3 health and say after a card is played, copies of that card cannot be played for the rest of this turn. So both players can do this, but it's pretty obvious that DJ benefits a lot more from this than other characters. And with the way that we build decks now compared to 5-6 years ago, there's a lot more 4-ofs. There's a lot more attack lineups that are 4-4-4, 3-3, you know, maybe a couple 1-ofs, a couple 2-ofs. Back in the day, you know, you look at older deck lists and that's just not how we built decks. Whether or not that was correct, you know, whether or not that was optimal, it's just not how we built decks. So you have a couple of throws, so that's how Degenet's going to get momentum. Degenet does not pump stats. Degenet does not add speed or damage unless you stack. I don't think this deck is trying to stack. So we are going to be playing a very chip, a very control, a very grindy game. So he's going to add the Electric Jolt back to hand, and then we are going to Quan Chi's Fortress him and say that he can't play it again. So Jet was playing a little too fast. We're going to let him shuffle it. Random is random. Single limb, we don't have to worry about handing out the warnings too much because there's a 50-50 chance he won't be here next round, right? So yeah, that Jolt was the only attack we felt like even trying to play. But every time you force the Quan Chi response, that is 3 more health, right? So that's very similar. That's more damage than a blocked Electric Jolt does. So oh, there's my boy Templar. So we do have a throw, right? This is redirecting push 1 mid for 4 throw. But Templar says when you block with it, you gain 2, draw 2, swag. Now the question is, does Jet know that this has Breaker 1? Because this card got reprinted and nerfed for no reason, and it was bullshit. And you know it's bullshit because when they reprinted it again, they gave it back to Breaker 1. Because we realized, what the fuck are we doing? But so we took effectively no damage from that throw. But that's another momentum Degenet gets to stack up. So that's another card, another attack. Hopefully one with a different name that we have to play. We also have the Condescending Explanation. So it's another way that we can delete an attack with 1 momentum. You can very much see the... Oh, we also have Guardian's Final Duty, which is another way to delete an attack. So this one just says discard this attack, remove, discard this attack. But it's only playable if you have more cards removed from the game than your opponent. So it looks like we each have 1 card removed. So we'll have to remove 1 more card to be able to play the ability. That shouldn't be too hard. Now we got Ancestral Quiver Form. Discard your rival's entire momentum. That's absolutely huge. No more condescending explanation. No more Degenet response. Gonna be way harder to play defense now. And without a way to remove an additional card from the game, at the moment, that Guardian's Final Duty is not online either. Oh my goodness, it looks like we got the Guardian's Final Duty getting committed here. Yeah, this is a crazy card for this matchup. I am surprised. I guess this is a sideboard thing. Is this mainboard or sideboard? I won't spoil it, but this could be a sideboard tech, which is kind of crazy though. Apparently there is quite a few DJ enthusiasts in retro. She plays a very prison style gameplay you don't get to experience in standard very much, but we are seeing sort of the backlash of that, right? Compared to a Rodan, compared to a Momo wall, a Recovery Girl wall even. If your rival has the interaction for your game plan, this is looking pretty bad for Degenet now. Not blocking the Nouveau Soleil, that commits our character. Not a big deal, because when you're on momentum as DJ, your character's basically blank anyways. But we got another Nouveau Soleil. This is usually, or no, sorry, this is yeah, this one was Nouveau Soleil. If it's not blocked, if it's not completely blocked, commit your rival's character. This one's a Royal Poison. It's looking like we can make this one real fast. We should be able to get a second momentum here. Make this one for 12 speed. Oh, but Dust in the Wind exists. Never mind. We don't actually get to pump the speed of this attack at all. If we play the EX ability, that's just going to make it easier for Brandon to block, because Dust in the Wind turns your speed bonus into a speed penalty. What you could do is you could maybe hedge against a half block. You can make this lethal on a partial. But until we have an answer for that Dust in the Wind, we actually don't get to pump the speed here. The good news is, even if we don't win this turn, Degenet is at such a low health total that Quan Chi's Fortress is not as much of a game plan, and we have Secret History in the stage with 2 momentum. Secret History says enhance, remove, discard a momentum, commit your rival's character, but it can only be played during your attack. So Nouveau Soleil is a reversal. It's kind of funny. It's a reversal that commits your rival's character, but you can just bypass the if it's blocked clause by discarding a momentum. So playing a throw here is something DJ kind of has to do. DJ has to get that momentum back, and you want to enter the enhanced step to gain 1 health. Just putting that out there. But if we do that, not only can Electric Jolt commit our Condescending, commit our Guardians, commit our Dust in the Wind, it'll also allow our rival to potentially block and commit our character with Secret History, making most of that momentum completely useless. You know, we could have Aerial Kikosho in this deck. Oh, but we've got, speaking of wanting momentum, Rapid Strikes. This is a multiple 3. The 5 mid for 4, not super exciting, doesn't pump its own stats. But if you have at least 3 momentum, you get 3 momentum. So this DJ deck is usually really good at getting momentum. And this is like a win condition defensively. Normally, you don't care about the multiple 3 on this. You care about having 3 momentum and then doubling your momentum to make it so that your opponent excuse me, making it so your opponent can never play a card on their turn again. It also lets you peek at a random card in their hand and then change the zone, which is cute. But again, that part usually not important. What's important is this is a single attack that can give you 3 momentum, and right now in this current game state, it's giving us nothing. Okay, spinning pile driver is good. Unfortunately, Jet did not recognize to use the electric jolt. We could have jolted down a really important foundation there. Committing the Guardian's final duty. Okay, so not believing in our ability to remove more cards from the game than our rival, which is interesting because if we get 1 momentum and then we get to use condescending explanation, that would turn on the Guardian's final duty, but there's a very good chance that electric jolt is going to say you never get to activate that condescending explanation. So that is probably where we're at anyways, but you gotta let your opponent make mistakes. You got a double low block here. Okay, this one's blocking on a 4, makes sense. Block the 0 speed move. If we don't block, there is a foundation, Shell of a Proud Man, which we just checked. We had 2 of these out. If your rival doesn't block the attack, you can commit a foundation to make them burn for 2. So this is, part of like the scaling offense of the deck, sort of, is if you don't want to respect the stupid dinky little pokes, they can actually get out of hand really fast. Yeah, it's possible that you could have a more clear answer on what to target, except the answer is clear, right? The answer, like, speed reduction doesn't matter as much if he can just wipe the attack out. So, I understand that logic, but with the new unique rule, it used to be you would not rip the jolt off because your rival might build a second copy of a unique or something. And not committing that unique is actually counterplay to that. But with the new unique rule, I think we just rip that band-aid off as soon as we can. Because you're also theoretically giving the rival more chances to interact with your momentum, right? Either way, though, 7 health is a surprisingly good number for Degenet. We did get the 1 pile driver in momentum. I'm not seeing the spell circle, though. Are we not? We don't want to use the card from hand. Now that we've seen the Ancestral Quiver, maybe? We don't want to lose the card from hand to get the momentum. That tells you that Jet's game plan is working, right? That tells you right off the bat that Jet's game plan is effective. We got that secret history coming in on the first attack. That's our first enhance. But our rival could condescending explanation this. Oh, this is Novel Soleil, not Royal Poison. That might be why. Oh, we have convenient timing. I bet we convenient timinged. I bet at some point we put a spell circle on the bottom of the deck. That's actually super crazy for this matchup too. Spell circle, for those who don't know, is a card where when it's in your discard pile or removed from game pile, you can lose a card from hand, basically, depending on the pile, and then add it back to your momentum after the ready phase. So putting it on the bottom of the deck is actually a super cute play, and that's like the hidden text on convenient timing. The jolt is going to hit the condescending, so I'm really curious what that momentum is for now, because it's not for DJ, it's not for condescending explanation, it's not to remove cards from the game to activate Guardian's final duty. And now we have Nivose. This is a 2 mid for 6 reversal. And every time your rival passes, this is your first enhance basically every time. For the rest of this enhance step, whenever your opponent passes on an enhance, this attack gets +1 damage. And if your opponent passes on their next enhance, this enhance step, this attack gets +4 speed. So typically you want your opponent to be committed out of enhances, and then it's like a 6 mid for 6 plus every enhance you play. However, Dust in the Wind is a really good card here. I mean, Moment of Normalcy, it's a 2-speed move, is really good here. So I don't expect this one to maybe land. You know, even if you just have a throwaway enhance, which it looks like we don't. Normally you'd have like the gain 1 health, or you'd have like the Degenet enhance to throw away to prevent the +4 speed. It looks like we're doing Protecting Yukina here. So I would assume that our rival called the if you pass, it gets 4 speed. So we're not going to pass. We're going to get a momentum with Protecting Yukina. But again, what is that momentum serving right now? All of our momentum uses are committed. Oh my gosh. That one dealt. The 2 mid for 9 landed home. We're about to find out if this is a low block in hand or not. DJ has had one momentum at the start of the turn and had a way to get another momentum. We should have committed the condescending, you know, for optimal play during the spinning pile driver, because you know the pile driver is going to momentum, right? But it looks like we are gonna win game 2. Players are gonna be sideboarding it. Looks like. What's the time in the round here? Looks like Jet's sideboard Ancestral Quiver plan. If it was, you know, I don't know. I'm so curious if that was a sideboard plan or not. Is he mainboarding Quivers? It's crazy to think we have a retro meta, like, with as small as retro is, and as small as this event is. This event was 6 people. It's like crazy to think that we have that we have like a full-on meta game with like impactful sideboarding decisions, because Ancestral Quiver is exactly how you try to solve a deck like Degenet, and that's, you know, that's how you punish Degenet decks for not playing like just good solid traditional defense to back up their sort of gimmick. And that's why, you know, if you guys saw me play Christopher Bromley's deck in Denver, it's just like an evil pile of defense. Like, it's just like good evil symbol defense, you know, that is boosted by having a momentum, you know? So you can't rely on the gimmick completely. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you gotta play it straight. All right, so this time we didn't start off with the Fortress. But we do have 2 attack negates with Guardian's Final Duty and Condescending Explanation. And, oh, we shuffled the momentum in. Wait, okay, that's how we've been. What is this? I need to know what that card was. I missed it completely. Chat, what effect did he just use to shuffle a momentum back in? Is it, was it Saved by Elena? Is that the card? Oh my god, is it that freaking Chun-Li? I'm trying to think, what's the air one? Is he playing the air Chun-Li card that shuffles a momentum back? It is Voices in the Dark. That's the Chun-Li one, right? No shot, dude. Okay, low key, I used to clown on people for playing that card as like a momentum hate. Like, low key, I used to, you know, like E flip 1 foundation, -1 damage was like not playable. It like has a +4 block mod. And I used to low key clown on people because I didn't think the momentum hate on it was very good. but it's like perfect in this matchup. It's so much better to shuffle the momentum into your rival's deck than make them discard it. That's actually crazy, dude. What? Who is playing? Yo, who is playing DJNet at Jets locals that's making him hate this deck so well? He is countering this deck so good, dude. Who gave him this experience that he's like, you know what? I'm never losing to DJNet Prison ever again. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm kind of geeking out at like how prepared he is for this deck, which it sucks because I like this DJNet deck. It's like one of the only decks that gets to try to play like an actual no you can't kind of game. But it always seems to get tripped up by like BS, and to have someone like target hating on it, to have someone, you know, and this just goes to show you like how much like just crazy interaction there was back in the day. Bang Quiver voices history. Soleil, Novo Soleil just got caped. He said, "Get it out of here." You know, if you don't block high, you commit your character. Huge. You know, momentum hate, character hate, foundation hate, you know, but again, the main thing is this deck doesn't block. It doesn't reduce damage, and it's not blocking like very often. So if you can force it to play like a normal game of universes against you, it typically folds. And I've always felt like that is, you know, a decent enough balancing act, considering, you know, I mean, you're seeing right now there's plenty of ways to make it play that normal game. But if you're Brandon, you gotta feel like, man, where is all this coming from? You know, again, if like I would not make these choices because I would say I'll just dodge the one DJNet player. You know, there's only what 6 people signed up for this event. Who would play DJNet? But he's got it, man. He's got the convenient timings. He's got the voices in the dark. He's got the secret history. Oh, come on, dude. Brother. DJNet with no action hate. No action cancel anywhere. No stopping for breakfast to be found. An Ancestral Quiver gives +1 to your check, so it kind of doesn't count towards progressive. That's huge. Do we have a way to remove a card? It looks like, once again, with no momentum, character useless, condescending useless, Guardian's Final Duty useless. Okay, condescending back online, but it's a first E, so we can't do it now. We do have an opportunity to negate 2 attacks now, though, if our rival doesn't have a way to answer those. Yeah, if I was DJ, that's what I'm saying. Like, low-key, that's what I'm saying, Dan. If I was Brandon right now, I'd be like, what? Why is this happening to me? Where is this coming from? Who at your locals is playing DJNet that has tortured you so that your deck is this full of, like, interaction for it? Like, as somebody who made a retro deck profile that features like 4 Ancestral Quiver or something like in the main board, that's for like goofy Reki Meki stuff. You know, I would never expect people to be playing Ancestral Quiver at all. Like, pretty much at all. But here's Indiscriminate Shock on effectively a 6. Or no, it's got the Breaker 1. So yeah, it's It's on a 7 and we checked a 4. We had +1 to our check, -1 to our check. Now we can't really do the stun one, because that would let elasticity go off, right? So even after the Ancestral Quiver, Brandon's still got some game, right? We still got Condescending. Condescending would let Guardian's Final Duty work. So it's not like terrible for him. Looks like we did proc the elasticity though. I guess you got to get it out of the way. Make him commit another one. 4 low for 9 is looking okay blockable. It also looks okay to just take 9 here. You know, putting Degenet down to 12. It's not exactly the danger zone. Although we did just ready the rest of our entire stage. Gonna get a Stables work proc. Oh, the hold hostage +0 low block. So, see, okay, so like, if you were Degenet, would you still be shitty at this point? Probably. The human answer is probably, but look at that recovery. Look at that absolute recovery. Ancestral Quiver dumped our momentum. We played 2 of the best attacks, you know, the air symbol has in retro. Readied our whole stage, you know, committed like everything, readied like everything. And our rival took 0 damage. After 2 quivers, you'd be mauling. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but should you be mauling, right? You have 2 momentum. You have, and those 2 quivers, those were 2 different games, right? Am I tripping, or were those 2 different games? Did he do like quiver turn 2 and turn 3? But either way, you ended up with 2 momentum. You still have Condescending Explanation. You still have Guardian's Final Duty. You still have full health. So, you know, if we're really like, yeah, my opponent's drawing the outs, he's drawing the interaction, but is he actually getting anything for it? Ah, there it is. We got the stopping for breakfast, baby. No more quivers. No more Ancestral Quiver bullshit. At least for 1 turn. At least for 1 Ancestral Quiver. It would be hilarious though if he just slapped down the quiver and said, alright man, lose a foundation. Check a 4, rival removes stopping for breakfast is funny as hell. Ooh, sweepy daggers. Got a little sleepy sweepy. Gonna make him add it back to his hand, and he's gonna Quan Chi's that. So Quan Chi's Fortress says pay 3 health. After your rival plays a card, they cannot play another copy of it. And oh my goodness, we drew the spell circle the same turn that he built Voices in the Dark. I can't believe this card exists. Actually, I can't believe Voices in the Dark is being played. Can you shell game momentum now? No, right? Momentum still has to be in order. You can look at it, but it has to like stay in order, right? Or is it just like face downs where like if you didn't get it this turn, you can shell game it? Oh, I need to look at the. I need to send out a time ping. Ooh. All right, we have 5 minutes left in the round, chat. Overtime starts in 5 minutes. Quivers for chumps. I mean, it like won a game and then hasn't done anything after that. You know, it like didn't solve every problem, but I use it mostly for control check jank. You know, like there's decks where you have to like check sixes, and I just use it to like get the 6 check effects. Ooh, we love a Templar, even on a partial. Gain 2, draw 2, effectively take nothing. Yeah, it did stop this attack saying we have 8 momentum. Yeah, these are like the saddest rapid punches, right? Rapid punches is supposed to be like hit 3 momentum, win the game, you know, wall the opponent out forever. Oh, Mitch against Ancestral Quiver is kind of sad. Hey, discard all your momentum and then add it back to your hand, chump. Okay, so that's 2 additional momentum DJ is going to get from this turn. All right, retreated to Arctica. This is a cool foundation. This is E-Destroy. Before the damage step, if this attack has 3 or more keywords, reduce its damage to 0. Many attacks have 3 or more keywords. Royal Poison does. Indiscriminate Shock, I believe, is charge, range, stun, right? So the 2 major kill conditions are going to be 0 damage. And it's worded weird, but even though it's an enhance, it does the modification before the damage step. So you can't really footsie it. They can just enhance destroy and then say, no matter what you do. Yeah, he can't quiver. He does not. Stopping for breakfast says he can't quiver. And Quan Chi's Fortress says he can't quiver twice. Yeah, Quan Chi's going to lock this one down. We are about to hit time in the round, though, and I believe Jet went second, so this should be the final turn. But we have to have a winner, so we'll have to go through the 10-minute overtime. That's the one thing I always forget in the players meeting, because it's single elim. We can't have a tie. So we have the 10-minute overtime where we play until the end of player two's turn. And at the end of player two's turn, or the 10-minute overtime, whichever comes first, then we begin the top cuts, turn 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it has to be higher percent health. Which right now I believe is DJ. I believe DJ is winning on health percent, but that might change. Low key hoping Jet just wins here and I don't have to deal with it, but yeah, DJ has no momentum. However, we have Guardian's Final Duty, which I believe is online. Yeah, Guardian's Final Duty is online. Matter of Heads and Tails is a speed reset. Retreat to Arctica is a damage reset. And by reset, I really mean quit to 0. All right, this is our Fury weapon attack that I believe also gained throw. So it should have 4 keywords now technically. Yeah, it's going to deal 0. So Sweeping Dagger steals the keywords from Spinning Pile Driver, which causes it to deal no damage. Is kind of funny. Yeah, while also not losing any health himself. But they're gonna have, if Jet doesn't win this turn and he went second, they're gonna have 2 more turns each to complete the game. So we're still gonna give them turn 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it will go to health total percent. Damn, he checked a 6 to block that. Yeah, Guardian's Final Duty is committed here. We do got Matter of Heads and Tails. Looks like that one is sealed from the Deadlock effect. That Royal Poison Deadlock might have just won this game. Oh, that's a bad check there, though. So Face of a Monster and Heads and Tails are sealed. No momentum for Condescending. But we do have Battle for Dominance to draw a card. It looks like this Jolt is going to deal 1 damage. Ooh, and this is gonna give +1 difficulty to everything for the rest of the turn, though. And we did not ready the small limbers. Oh, on an 8, check a 3. Or no, it's on a 9. And we pass that if it wasn't for the +1 difficulty there. All right, so this should be turn 0 for DJNet. So each player is going to get 2 more turns to try and close the game out. Oh, I'm probably going to miss the end of this game, but chat, I gotta run for just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, chat. What did I miss? Looks like we're still in the same turn. Oh, I missed the Templar, though. Oh. Oh, they did ping me right as I walked away.
Hello.
Hey, fellas. I just got your
yeah.
ping. So
What are we doing?
So you guys went into overtime, and Jet, you went second, correct?
I did go second this game. Yes, this is game 3.
Okay, so the turn that just happened for Brandon is what's called turn 0. I don't know why it's turn 0 and not turn 1. But after overtime, because we have to have a winner because it's single elimination, what happens is basically each player will get 2 more turns. So turn 0, 1, 2, 3. So that was turn 0. This will now be turn 1 for Raiden.
Turn 1.
You'll get turn 2 for Dejanet, and then turn 3 for Raiden. And at the end of those turns, if there's still no winner, the winner will be decided by who has the highest remaining percentage health.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty.
Both of you guys
I
get
imagine
it?
it won't go that far, but yeah.
I will review draw 4.
We got another Ancestral Quiver. Now that the stopping for breakfast. Oh, he's going for stun 2, though. Not choosing to kill the momentum. Choosing to get stun 2. He discarded his own momentum. I like that play. I like that play a lot. You know what I haven't seen from this deck that I wouldn't be surprised to see is a Walk the Dog. Now that I'm thinking about committed foundations. Yeah, 1.3 would make a lot of sense. It's still tough to set up because without killing the momentum, our rival gets to use condescending and use. Oh, that was the bait, the baitiest bait of all time. We got him to cancel the stun, and now, wait, we still didn't kill the momentum. We went for stun 4 on everything. Is that what's going on? Oh my goodness. He's gonna say no more electric jolts. Here's Royal Poison. On a 7, checks a 7. He's gonna add that back to hand. He's gonna Quan Chi's that. Do we have a third attack with a different name? We would have windmill slammed it by now, right? That's gonna be the turn. We got so greedy with our stun, but we needed to kill. Oh, it looks like Brandon disconnected. Uh-oh. Looks like Jet was the host. Uh-oh. Did
Yeah.
he's disconnected, he can't hear us either.
He hasn't responded to me yet. No, that's why I
Okay.
added him in the Ace Arena
Oh.
chat.
Alright, but you are the host for the game?
Yes, I'm the host. So if he comes back, it's fine, and we can
Yeah,
finish the match.
okay. I was gonna say I'm here to verify that like no shenanigans happen, so. Alright, well, we'll give him a few minutes, see if he can reconnect. If not,
Yeah, okay.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess it's another reason to give it's another reason, I guess, to just like carte blanche like game losses, because like having to come up with like, okay, what's a fair reconnection time, it's kind of tough not having a standardized time limit for that. And also it would figure like the game that's into super overtime is the one where we're waiting for reconnect. But I mean, it's only 3 rounds, right, guys? It's not. Hopefully, this isn't what's putting anyone out. And yeah, I'm with you, Disaster Dan. I don't even know if we win by doing the, commit all your rival or discard your rival's momentum. I thought it was a sick bait. He like gained a momentum, right? Like he like started with 1, did the quiver with stun 2, then he got a second momentum, right? And then he played the next quiver. I thought it was a bait. All right, it looks like Brandon's getting logged back in here. Should be reconnecting. Yeah, I mean, if he makes him discard his momentum, he at least has to like use a Guardian's Final Duty or something, right? He at least gets to enter an enhanced step so we can find out. Oh, he's got the Jolt and momentum. Yeah, he's got the Jolt and momentum. All right, hopefully this is the longest round of the day. Our next round should be 2 Scorpions, a Vega. The Vega game could go long. I don't know how aggressive he plays the Vega. Probably very. But the Vega game could go long. Oh, it looks like Brandon's throwing in the towel. Looks like the internet is not functioning. He just threw up the GGs in chat, so the way things were looking, I won't say definitively because 9 health is not a lot, and this is a throw deck. So like Raiden's defense could mean absolutely nothing here, Brandon could have played 3 throws and won the game. But it is what it is. All right, so we'll put that report in. Give it 1 second here. He's typing out just to make sure before I process the next round. I'll actually remember to start the timer this time. All right, let's push round 2 through. Oh my, I think it is a mirror. Still says generating pairings. But the bracket updated. Do you guys, do the players see? You guys see the bracket, right? But the pairings aren't up, so I can't set the timer yet. Okay, there we go. Tito's Tabletop, what's stopping you from making a retro deck? If you need a retro deck, I got you covered, pal. I can hand you a, pick a character. I probably got a list for it, or one similar at least. So I feel like we should join the Scorpion Mirror just because we'll probably get to watch that and the other game. Looking through all of those cards. Yeah, so I've been posting retro deck profiles for the last few days. Granted, they're not claiming to be optimal. They're not really aiming to be optimal necessarily, but they're aiming to be unique to retro and fun. So I've been trying to put those out just to make the format a little more accessible. We're playing on TTS, so cards that are out of print, I do encourage people, use TTS to try before you buy. And if you do enjoy it, go out, get the cards in physical to play at regionals, play with much more people. But, we're trying to defeat all the barriers of entry we can. Asawi 1 is absolutely incredible in this format. There is very little wrong you can do with Asawi 1. There's a lot of payoffs for clearing your card pool, and there's a lot of incredible, I put in the wrong password. There's a lot of incredible ranged attacks. So You know, Asui is definitely one of the better MHA characters in Retro. I'll say that. What? What's the password? Did I put... Oh, I typed Arena. God, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out my own password that I made people use. There we go. You know, not to plug the old Patreon or nothing or donor wall people, but one of the things you can get through Patreon support is deck profiles. So I do video commissions through Patreon. At $10 a month, you get one video commission per month. And that video commission could be to commission a retro deck profile on any character or any deck that you would want to see built. There's also a coaching tier where you can get practice and deck building advice. Although that one's probably a little heavy, a little serious, you know, just for just for retro, but if that is something somebody wanted to do, it is available. So it looks like we got Dan on the right. We got Godzilla on the left here. With Tommy on the left. What is the 4 denoting? Oh, it's the burn amount. So this is a 3 damage throw, and if you block it, you lose 4 health. Okay, come on now. This is getting ridiculous. At least he's checking poorly, so that's justice. But minion grab this is a nasty attack. I hate this attack. This attack is so gross. It's a throw where you can lose a bunch of health during it, and if it's not blocked, your next attack gets bonus damage and -2 to its desperation rating. But if it is blocked, they lose 2 additional health. It looks like we're gonna commit out to block this one. Looks like we didn't press all the buttons though, because we would have lost a lot more health. So both Scorpions going down to 22 and 21, both fully committed out that turn. The parity is immeasurable. Or completely measurable, one of the two, but Dan's in a great position now. He's easily next to desperation. His opponent is committed out. He's got capture the target to pass some checks. He's got card draw in stage. But we are not windmill slamming a Vicious Madness, so a build turn here would feel so bad. Oh, it's gonna feel bad. Not what you wanted to see at all. Granted, Tommy's stage doesn't have a lot of ways to lose health, right? He's got some block punishment. After your attack is blocked, you get to choose which stat you want. He's got synergy for losing health, but he doesn't have many ways to lose additional health. So him getting to desperation would be harder. However, here's a decent enough attack to do it. Oh, we're going to respond to him losing health with our excited for blood. And we're going to gain that health back. Oh, he's going to grant you death instead. After your opponent plays a responsibility, they lose 4 health. So that's going to also allow Scorpion to lose 2 health. This is game 1. That's so funny. He played a response to gain 4 health. And then he immediately hit him with I grant you death to burn that 4 health away. And help Scorpion get closer to desperation. Oh, but here's a Toguro Brothers. Looks like it's a block though. We're going to opt to draw a card. All right, we had a oopsie daisy check here. Looks like Dan's going to let him just make it as his next check since we knew he was going to play an attack. Ooh, cheering for the local. Well, he's in a really good position here. With this Deathfire Impalement, he's going to be at like the exact right health to get into desperation. He does have a bunch of momentum to spend as well. So if he pulls out like an EX move, like a From Hell, that would almost certainly end the game on the spot. Oh, but it looks like we chose bonus damage instead of bonus speed on our 1-div. When I feel like the bonus speed was always going to be the move here. Considering we're going to burn into desperation and get +6 damage from our character. Yeah, it's like impossible to stop Scorpion from going to desperation, man. There's just so many ways to lose health. Like, actually so many ways to lose health. This is still going to be an annoying block, but Dan's probably got this one covered. It's just going to really come down to whether or not we have the follow-up. Looks like we're going to rezone it to a high, which might mean a Flame Aura block. But that would mean reducing all that speed would be for nothing anyways. Oh, we're going to gain 2 health with Scorpion. Not what I expected, but I mean there's no reason not to if you don't have a powerful or EX keyword coming up. This one's on a 9. Like I said, doable, but annoying to block. So this looks like it's going to commit us out almost entirely. Another Deathfire Impalement should kill here. Hell, a Vicious Madness probably kills here with 4 base speed, but oh, we got a Inferno Soul Edge. Okay, so that one's okay. If you're in desperation, you get to remove 3 attacks from your discard pile to delete an attack as a response on play. So that's not too bad, but with the health total this low and all the burn on block from Scorpion, it's going to be pretty tough. So we saw Dan. Dan basically bricked last turn. Didn't even get to enter the enhanced step. But that is not the case this time. Here's Flame Aura on a 4. Alright, opting to damage reduce the Flame Aura makes a lot of sense. However, I don't think you're going to be able to undo the +6 damage from Scorpion. We're going to get another +1 from Bench Press. All right, brings us down to 8 health. Syndicate Slice. This one's neat. Your next check to play an attack, it's +1. And if it's blocked, you draw a card. So we're gonna negate this one because, spoiler, we pretty much have to block it. Now, is the Scorpion gain health once per turn? No, we could be doing this every attack. We could be gaining 2 health with each of our momentum on each attack. But +2, +4 health. Will it be enough? When we burn 3 for blocking and take half. So this one is burn for this attack is if you block it, you lose 11. That's so crazy, dude. Can't be partialed. It's a low. It's a throw. And you burn for like a fifth of the damage, even if you do completely block it. Yeah, I don't think gaining 2 extra health on Scorpion was gonna make a difference there. In fact, it would have been exact lethal. Wait, what? Is this one not a throw? Did I miss throw hate? Or did he didn't do the burn effect? I'm so confused. I must have missed something. Because half of 15 is 8, right? 7.5 rounded up. And then you lose 2 from Scorpion, 1 from Flame Aura. Yeah, it looks like they realized it. And Dan could have just made it a low anyways, but looks like they realized that that was actually 11 damage on block. It's tough with Scorpion because keeping track of which enhances he's using is not super obvious when all of his attacks also have him lose 2 health. But I feel like when you're going for game and you got the Flame Aura in the card pool, that's like my health priority. Oh, do we have a judge call? No, that's a different Discord entirely. Wait, did he make Dan go first? Is this the next level play? Because that means if Dan wants to poke, he's going to put Tommy closer to desperation. Because that is kind of the footsies when it comes to the Scorpion matchup. Is if you can't like force yourself into desperation from full, you don't really want to poke, right? It's one of my least favorite like game states to run into. Okay, so I guess that wasn't the plan. Oh, can I not ban this guy from here? I gotta go to the control panel. Whack. So choosing to go second was not the plan to get our rival to poke us first. Interesting. Ugh. So we chose to go second, and now unless I missed something in Disaster Dan scooped game one somehow, which does not seem correct, but all right. So Dan is like super in desperation. He's exactly where he wants to be. Tommy is committed out and 2 unblocked attacks away from death and like 3 blocked attacks away from death. Oh, both of you are gonna lose a health now. But that is a partial block, so yeah, we're gonna lose 9 instead of 11. And this is the attack we really wanted Flame Aura for, but if we were at 8 health, the partial would kill us here too, so that looks like it's probably gonna be game, and that's kind of how Scorpion works. I could be wrong. He could have some, like a revoke for the speed pump, and then like a +1 mid block, and then he's only at like 6 instead of dead, which is a big difference, believe it or not. Maybe not a practical difference, but it is big. Nope, that's gonna do it. And unless I'm completely confused about that game one, it looks like Dan's gonna take this 2-0 again. Yeah, it's already recorded. Jesus. He already put in the game score. So Dan, yeah, he's on demon time today. All right, well, that's gonna be a Scorpion in your finals. What a deck, huh? Yeah, man, Scorpion just, you got to do like a tiny bit of work to get into Desperation, and then you're just full throttle. The game is just going to end one way or another. But now we got this sweet Vega deck. It's on the evil symbol. So Vega, like Scorpion, wants to be in Desperation. But while you're at Desperation, your attacks get -1 difficulty and +1 speed. And your rival's attacks get +1 difficulty and -1 speed. So you get like extra Desperation, basically, for being in Desperation, which at the time was pretty strong. But they didn't have like as good of Desperation attacks. His offense was still a little lackluster, but good players piloted Vega to some success. And it looks like we're seeing double reduction in the card pool. I wonder, how did this get put to 1 speed with double reduction? Oh, we have Raiden E commit -3 speed. That's probably how. So this got up to what, 9? And then it got -8 speed with Moment of Normalcy in 2 of these. Rough stuff. Oh, dude, the Desperation response on this card is so insane. So, Kin 1211 Shiki Yaotomi doesn't do a lot before Desperation, but when you're in Desperation, it gets a huge damage bonus typically if you removed a Desperation card from the game. And then it has, after you play this card as an attack, you unflip all your face downs. So, Raiden made us play a non-attack card, but now we get to play Flight of the Wicked. It's Desperation 4, but it also has -1 from Vega. So this was a 3 difficulty throw. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gets +4/+4. Another speed from Vega. And unfortunately, Raiden has no face downs. So yeah, I thought his plan was to make you go first and then make you poke him. And then you didn't poke him, but then he did poke you. So I think he had an okay idea, but he didn't have like a starting hand that let him force the issue. He didn't like get to actually play around making you poke him first. But this is a 10 damage Flight of the Wicked. We can surprisingly play more cards after this. There are Desperation attacks that can be played with this full of a card pool, and with +4 speed and +4 damage on them, we could deal 13 here. Looks like we have Electric Jolt coming in. Oh, this would have picked up a weapon attack. Or no, any attack with difficulty 4 or less, which with the current Desperation modifier, now we got Raiden readying his entire stage. I really want to see where this ends up. I really want to see another attack after this. We've also got, was this after you make a check? Oh, this is discard your hand. You get XX. X equals the total number of cards discarded. I love this card, by the way. Remember Your Masters is one of my favorite foundations that like I never really play. I did play a little bit of Alice, but we had a local Alice player that was better than me. And so diversity made me not play that character. But we got a partial block here. We readied the whole stage, committed it again for speed hate, took half on the throw. Raiden playing some pretty insane defense here. I mean, that was a +5 speed move. And we had 3 cards in our card pool already. Yeah, Vega is obnoxious in general. It's kind of a rule that all the desperation characters are truly obnoxious, but Scorpion and Vega are like really good and obnoxious. Mature is like straight up disgusting, but they changed the rules of the game to make her not as good, but she's still obnoxious. So it looks like Vega was feeling the pressure there, got put down to 2 health. Is this not a 5 diff? Ooh, give me 1 second. Hey fellas, I hate to be a stickler, but is this Sweep Me Daggers not a 5 diff?
Yes, you are correct. I will commit an extra one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh. All right, I had to do my job as a judge. Sorry, guys. Usually I let the players, like, you know, fix it. I give them a second, right? If it's like a top card of the deck, you know, it can usually be solved between the players, like, very easily. But this one might have mattered. I am kind of okay with desperation not being the keyword. The keyword desperation, I'm not a huge fan of. But I like the phrase, you know, like the same way mill is a word. I guess mill is like a keyword, but not like a keyword trait or keyword ability. But like the game term desperation, I like because it's a KOF term, and it makes sense that if you're at low health, you know, you get a desperate effect. But I don't like the keyword desperation. That's my take. And I don't like desperation characters that burn themselves. I don't like characters that care about being low health and then solve that problem, you know? This is a partial block. We have a partial block on a Sweeping Daggers to stay alive. That is not a good sign. Royal Poison. I was just about to say play any powerful move, and we should be able to clean this one up. Between EX. This is on a 7 for what it's worth. But between EX and powerful to play around Invincible Body, I would have to imagine this is game. But we could see a revoke. Who knows? We could see a revoke. God of Thunder only gives +2 damage. Oh, deadlock. Never mind. There's a deadlock effect. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're at exactly deadlock. We're at exactly 11, bro. Come on. Oh, but the barrier. Oh, but the barrier shield's coming in before the EX, which, I mean, yeah, he might not even press EX, and then you just lose, right? Yeah, Shiki 1211, or was it? It's Kin 1211 Shiki Altomi. I love that attack. That attack that unflips all your face downs. Dude, unflipping foundations was like a never thing. There it is. You even had it in hand. That card is so cool. And I think he's doing it here. I think it just looks like Jet got off to a great start, put him in desperation early, and was able to close things out with those keyword abilities. Playing around the barrier shield and the invincible body. You got to be careful for that deadlock, man. I mean, if you guys think that we got bad deadlock now, should look at some retro deadlock. Retro deadlock is no joke. Seal 2 rival foundations and commit 2 rival foundations. So much better than like any deadlock we've really had. I do think it's like okay that they've been listening to people complain about deadlock, and it seems like they've like toned it down a bit, but that does sort of betray the point of deadlock. So I don't know. I still lose. So like most deadlock effects my opponents actually activate. You know, it's pretty rare my opponent activates a deadlock effect and not win the game, so I don't know. I think the issue is most deadlock is just like okay, so you don't put it in your deck. Because that deadlock card that's just okay doesn't do anything else. You know? The problem is they want you to play this one diff that does absolutely nothing else except have Breaker with a bad block mod and a deadlock effect. There's a few like really broken deadlock effects that people won't play because the card before deadlock is not good, right? Like there's not as many as there was in like MHA, I think. You know, now it's like deadlock plus 4 speed, like who cares? You know? But like gently theft, just deadlock response, your rival loses a card. That's super good. That's solid. It gets worse. That one's gotten worse as time has gone on, but that one's really good. You know, You're Finished is a crazy good deadlock for a 0 diff that also sometimes draws a card. Muscle Mauler has deadlock, enhance, flip 2 rival foundations, and draws you a card, and sometimes draws you a momentum, and has breaker. But no one plays that card. Was it Justice Rush gives you 2 momentum and then draws you 2 cards to replace the 2 cards you got to your momentum, but it's a 3 mid for 5 that is sometimes a 3 mid for 7. Can't Escape Me was a really good deadlock, but it's rotated. The issue with deadlock is most of it doesn't scale. Deadlock like ultra fucks you at 11, like we just saw Vega. Vega was at 11, dude. If Vega was at like 15 or 16, they still block that with the barrier shield, you know? Like they can play footsies with the barrier shield and still block that. So I think Deadlock's issue is that it being like a binary switch of you're at 10, you're good to go. You're at 12, fuck you, die. You're at like 16, the switch is back to you're good to go. Like, I hate that, you know? Yeah, Ore Strike is like garbage unless you're doing the deadlock. You know? Ore Strike is like straight up not a 2-check unless you do the deadlock. Focus Attack had an insane deadlock ability, but people played it because the combo enhance was just really good. Right? Like we need more cards like Focus Attack that's like a really good card normally, and then in deadlock it's an insane card that you can play a different way. I think Focus Attack was one of the best examples of like a deadlock that kind of makes sense, I guess, or like that didn't feel like terrible. But But I hate the idea of deadlock. I think a card like Focus Attack should just say, you know, commit 1 foundation for every 4 foundations your rival has or something. You know, so like against like most boards, you get to like target commit 1 thing. And then against like some crazy boards, you get to commit 3 things. And then if your opponent has 20 foundations, you get to commit 5 things and like it matters again. So I would rather see stuff like that that doesn't even touch deadlock, you know? But we've been doing more D-build instead, so now you should just never let your rival get to deadlock. Coordinate Effort had a historically broken deadlock. It wasn't like Insano and MHA set 1, and it didn't last that long to get Insano. But it had like a soft infinite in set 1 with Night Watch. So that's a pretty good deadlock. But if you go back to like Libra Deadlock, bro, Libra Deadlock is like name a card, search your deck for all. It's like a Koenma's task on an attack. You know? Libra Deadlock is like look at your rival's hand, add that card to their momentum. This attack it's +1 damage for each of your rival's momentum, and you draw a card. You know, Deadlock, there's Deadlock Enhance. If this attack deals damage, multiple copies of this attack are unblockable. So if you don't block the first one, you take 2 more unblockable attacks. There's one that, there's Crawler, which is an attack that, like, no one really played, but the Deadlock E was printed 4 damage attacks. Do not count towards progressive difficulty for the rest of the turn, which basically said none of your attacks count towards progressive. You actually just ignore progressive for the turn. If you build your deck right. We had Deadlock E flip, commit your opponent's character on a 1 diff. Ooh, I like Sharpshooter's Deadlock. The speed of this attack cannot be reduced. +4 speed. There was a lot of cards in Mortal Kombat that had like one really good effect and then a crazy deadlock. There's actually so many with a good deadlock. Overly Dramatic is a good example. After your opponent plays an ability that would decrease damage or increase speed, cancel it, normal effect, Deadlock E, add any attack from your discard pile to your hand. Like, let's just get the game over with, bro. This should be game 2. Raiden should be up a game. It might be game 3, but I believe it's game 2. All right, we got the +1 mid block from Reduction. That means Breaker 2 is going to put a little halt in this offense from Raiden. Plays the 1 diff around the Breaker 2. We get the Wandering Pirate on a 4. Now Raiden's chilling at 7 foundations, which is really more like 11 foundations, considering maybe 12. You know, maximum payload is probably 12 here. But we have 2 God of Thunders, 13. We have 7 foundations that could actually be like 13 foundations, depending on how sequencing works out. Meanwhile, Vega has a healthy stage, but no real way to pay his way into Desperation. So he's almost certainly going to want to build out here and stabilize, kind of fix his health total, you know, take damage where he wants to, but not get so low that like a Novo Soleil threatens lethal. Getting reversaled as a Desperation character can suck. You like work that hard to get that low of health, and then they just reversal you. Make you commit out on your own turn to block. We have 18 minutes left in the round, so it is possible that this is a game 3. Oh, Wandering Pirate's gonna get flipped here. All right, we're down to 10. So Vega's at desperation at 9. Wants to be at 9 health, not 10. So Jet playing around the desperation number very well. I don't see a way to pay 1 health in Vega's stage, but there's plenty of evil attacks that do it. And speaking of evil attacks that pay health, here's Flight. Oh no, this is Flight of the Wicked, not Vicious Madness. I'm trolling. This one gets damage for your rival's face downs. I just see Astaroth throw, and I assume that's on me. That's on me, chat. This one not gonna get a huge bonus, but when it deals damage, we do have a foundation. After your attack deals damage, add 1 attack with difficulty 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. Looks a lot more impressive when you have that desperation difficulty reduction and Vega's difficulty reduction. Oh, I messed up the camera. What? Oh, I can't look at the discard pile. I'm not a game master, so. He reveals the top of his deck. It's another Flight of the Wicked. No way to draw it, though. Not in desperation for arranging a deal. Looks like we're gonna discard another Flight of the Wicked. Grab a reduction. Okay. So I have a feeling that this is... Uh-oh. I was gonna say, I have a feeling this is meant to get a block into our hand. But we might have to use that block right here, right now on this Nivos. Granted, we have a lot of enhances to play. So... Or no, we don't actually. I guess we only have 3. The real question is, can we take some damage from this and survive? And then the desperation difficulty reduction gives us a kill, because we did just discard a 6 damage throw to pick up a 1 damage move. But that could be a winning strategy. Especially if we unlock the hidden text on all of our other cards by going into desperation. Man, these electric jolts have done so much work for Jet in the games that we've been able to watch him play. I mean, that card was absolutely an MHA set 1, you know, set 2, 3, 4 format all-star. It basically made the Amajiki deck. People can lie to themselves all they want. That's Electric Jolt made Amajiki like top tier. You know, he's a solid character elsewhere, but man, being able to recycle jolts, that was crazy with that character. Retro Amajiki probably insane, by the way. There's like not that many like face up momentum cards, and they were usually like doo-doo butter. But the one there's like fighting is one is a good one. Although it doesn't really interact with him like at all. You could do it with like I guess manifest, but just like the tools you get for gaining momentum and, you know, counting it is pretty good. And we're gonna draw 2 cards off these stable works. When you ready stable work, you get to respond to draw a card. Raiden has an enhance once per turn ready 3 foundations. So he got to ready 3 foundations and draw 2 cards for doing so. Yeah, Jolt is just crazy. Like, there's so many cards that have like target committed something, but like doing it from momentum is just somehow too good, you know? Doing it on both turns from momentum, crazy. Oh, so it looks like we blocked with a throw. So we stay at 10, we're not in desperation. But we immediately check a 3 on an asset. And we decide not to pass it. We're already a little too committed out to feel safe. But, man, this is a lot of momentum for Raiden. You can do a lot of work here off just, you know, 1 God of Thunder and 2 basic trainings as far as offensive power goes. But that God of Thunder is going to be able to ready a bunch of foundations. Ooh, the invincible body being committed here is rough stuff. No -1 speed from Vega, but also no deadlock +1 speed from basic trainings. So that was kind of a, you know, I don't know how much of a mistake it really was from game 1, but we saw that deadlock decimate our stage when we were at 11. So not having to deal with the bonus speed is definitely a good thing here. However, this does represent lethal, so we are going to force a block or a revoke or something out of our rival. We're trying to figure out the outs. Yeah, gonna get all that bonus damage, +1 damage for each committed rival foundation. That is a whopping 7. This one's swinging for more than half of Vega's health. No speed pump though. Oh, opting to partial. Looking for that breaker 2 to keep us alive. Hopefully that is an intentional choice. Hopefully it's the breaker plus Vega's difficulty modification plus Vega's check hack is where the synergy lies. So here's Royal Poison. It's on a 6. No, sorry, it's on a 7 and we check the 2. Yep, looks like he's gonna opt to fail it. The The Vega response, your rival's check gets -1. If they pass the check, you ready Vega and can do it again. But if they fail the check, not only does their turn not end, but you don't ready Vega. So Vega kind of bailed him out there. He checked like, like a 2 on like a 7 or something. And he kind of bailed him out with the Vega response. I would have made my opponent commit as many cards as possible there. But the Royal Poison might also just kill him. Whereas Sweeping Daggers, I guess, is like, maybe he doesn't have another attack. But if you know the Royal Poison kills you, I guess you have to, right? Nervous and burned my health too quick. Usually have my Scorpion on evil, made him on fire. Yeah, it's typical to see him on evil. I was a little surprised to see fire, but the fire build looked solid. It looked good. Evil just has a lot better cancel interactions, right? And it has better setups for Deathfire Impalement, but it looks like that's going to do it. It looks like Raiden's going to win 2 games here. And you're going to have Raiden versus Scorpion, a little Mortal Kombat showdown in your finals. Very exciting stuff. We got Raiden versus Scorpion. We're going to start the finals at 2:30, it looks like. Give everyone a few minutes to go run to the restroom, get a drink, do all that good stuff. And I'm going to run, a couple ads, couple of special thank yous while I run to the restroom myself. So, for those who don't know, the prizing today is a box of TMNT put up by Undefeated at Locals, Marvin Emery. So, thank you very much for that. I'm back. We got our finals match. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, okay.
Hey, fellas, can I be a jerk? And can I ask you to reload the table? I've got a bunch of extra buttons on my end.
Whoop.
I appreciate it.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Hold on.
Sorry, I know it's annoying to like set everything up again, but
No, you're good. It's where we should be all set.
oh, cool. Yeah, you guys already have everything loaded. How'd you do that?
I just hit Control Z,
Oh,
and
weird.
it's like an undo button, but it undoes like the last thing. So if you move a dice, it'll undo it and go back, and it does the same thing.
Weird. I've done like the undo button, and it usually doesn't solve that for me. I usually have to reload the table, but I'll try that in the future.
Alright. Yeah, high roll.
All right, cool.
Roll of state.
Well,
I
good
rolled
luck.
an 8.
Good
Oh,
luck
thank
to
you,
both
thank
of you, and I'll do a quick winners interview with the winner after the event.
Come on.
Yeah, fine.
All right, this is for all the marbles. In this case, the marbles being a box of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, courtesy of Marvin Emery over at Undefeated at Locals. So please, guys, go drop a subscription. I don't think they do too much content. I don't know how often they upload videos anymore, but Marvin has done an incredible job supporting all of the community events throughout the last couple years. I don't know how much he's contributed to David Toombs' stuff, but I know he's been involved in those. He has always been willing to put up prize support for my events, so I am deeply, deeply appreciative of him. And he makes each of these events a little bit special, you know? I mean, we had 6 players today, a bit of a glorified local, but the prizing, because of Marvin, has been absolutely outstanding considering the circumstances. So big shout outs to him, big thank yous to him. And if you didn't see it on the scroll by before, Stark Dark 2 is happening in November. They are doing a standard and a retro cash event. It's a 2-day event, and there's going to be more details coming in the future. They got a QR code you can scan from any of the ads that we have, you know, any of the places you might see the ad or the tournament announced. So definitely check that out. Stark Dark, they've got an online store that we're giving out gift cards for with Webcam Warriors. So huge shout out to them for supporting the channel and for supporting the events. But other than that, let's get into this gameplay. We've got Scorpion obviously taking the 4 damage from an electric jolt. That jolt going into momentum is going to be a big determining factor of these games that we've seen so far. But the main determining factor has strictly been how well can Scorpion get into desperation, and a lot of times that is determined by how many checks can Scorpion pass, because Scorpion can lose 3 health on phase every single attack, and we immediately scoop up that flame aura. Got the signature foundation from the Mortal Kombat, the Scorpion starter deck, the 2-player turbo decks. E-commit, the top card of your discard pile is Desperation or Fury. This one has both. Add it to your hand. So check a 3, add a 3 to your hand. Force your opponent to partial block this attack. Lose 4 health anyways. It's as if they didn't even block it. But if they don't block it, not only do they take 4 damage, but you go get to mill for another attack, which would have been another takedown. So a little bit of footsie, a little bit of posturing here in the early going. Demanding submission. Now this one is really nice. It cancels a keyword ability. Then if that keyword ability has a rating, your rival's going to lose health equal to that rating. So those stun 2s, not only do those get canceled, but that's going to cause you to lose 2 health. And it can cancel, you know, powerful, EX, echo, ranged, multiple, all that good stuff. So even if it doesn't have a rating, it's still like a generic keyword cancel, which is pretty strong. Oh, here is the signature Mortal Kombat starter deck attack for Scorpion. This is From Hell. Now, it is a 6 diff. Usually you don't see people play this until it's a 4 diff, but if it's not blocked, you get to destroy one of your rival's foundations, and they lose health equal to the control. That's right, not the difficulty, from the bigger number. They're going to lose 5 or 6, maybe 4, depending on how good their foundation base is. But this is very much a must block. It has EX3. A lot of Scorpion games are won by pumping all the momentum that you got from your pokes and from your minion grabs into an unblockable From Hell. It wears the desperation damage, and it swings for like effectively 17 to 20 damage very, very easily. This is early in the game, however, and I gotta feel like Raiden's not gonna have too much of an issue with this one, provided that we have a high block. We are right on the cusp of that desperation as well, so a little bit unfortunate for Dan that we don't get the 6 damage on this one, but we do get to loop that takedown back into our hand because we discarded it from our momentum, so it becomes the top of our discard pile. That's like the most common way to use Undying Rage, but we've got the Can't Escape Me beautiful air symbol cancel, preventing you from adding any cards to your hand. Huge heads up play from Jet here. He has had the interaction, he has had the cancel for so many things today. It's been absolutely amazing. So the high block from the Jolt coming in, but you almost prefer that. As Scorpion, you almost prefer that your rival blocks with the Jolt rather than plays it. And we do get a card draw on defense here. We committed the Wandering Pirate to pass the check. Wandering Pirate has a response that says when you commit it, you can ready a different foundation. That foundation was stable work. So, and now we get to play Navol Soleil, which was another high block, but it's also a reversal. This one says if you don't completely block this attack, your rival has to commit their character, which there goes all of Scorpion's speed and damage pump. However, demanding submission could cancel this if we really cared about it, if we don't have the high block, but that would be one less foundation that we have to play attacks anyways, and that might not be as good as just blocking this or taking it on the chin even. Granted, again, if you take it on the chin, you do have to commit your character unless you revoke that enhance, which I wouldn't be super surprised to see Dan like revoke it and then take 5, but it's not looking like he's had a super great turn, because I would have assumed that we would have started with a different attack than From Hell if we had the opportunity to. Navol Soleil also says when you play it as a reversal, you get to ready 2 foundations that haven't been readied yet, so fits into the riding game plan. But we knew we had the Flame Aura. We're gonna block quite easily on a 2, and our rival's gonna be at 18 with us. But Scorpion did have to commit a lot of cards on our first 2, really just on the first card we played. And we're not going to have too much of a follow-up here. So getting the Flame Aura out of the hand feels really good if you're Raiden. But getting 2 attacks out of the hand feels really good if you're Scorpion. So this game is pretty even so far. Obviously, things are tilting towards the favor of the player who just readied their entire stage and drew up the hand size. And here's an Electric Jolt, just such an obnoxious little poke. Always deals 1 damage, even if completely blocked. Has stun 1 on it. Once it goes to momentum, ooh, we're gonna partial this. Never feels good, but probably the right call, right? Save yourself 2 health, get an extra review step if you weren't gonna build this card next turn anyways. However, it was a little risky, if only because we've seen the indiscriminate shock threat in big numbers. Speaking of big numbers, Dan is almost certainly about to go all in as hard as he can here. Yeah, we got the Vicious Madness. We're immediately cutting ourselves into desperation. Gonna get 6 damage on our throw. Jesus. Sold the sword for another +1 damage. Now, I believe since we're in desperation, New Empress of Netherrealm can start looking at the top card of our deck. Or no, I think it's a rival deck. Yeah, it's your opponent's deck. Okay. Not quite as good, but still pretty solid, you know, knowing what they're going to draw. One thing that's really interesting here is the Toguro's dominance. If we want to activate the enhance on release, the Toguro's dominance could respond to destroy the release and prevent further uses of it. It doesn't cancel the initial one, but excuse me, but it would destroy it for future use. Video Templar come in, gain 2, draw 2, and then we're gonna lose 7 health. It looks like the Scorpion players are not doing the you burn 2 if you block, which I don't know. To me, that's the most frustrating part about the character. I don't know if that's a reason why you play the character, because I don't play that character, but I know that's my least favorite thing about playing against that character. So to see the burn not come in as often is a little frustrating. The Nouveau Soleil coming in once again. Gonna burn you, or sorry, not burn you. Gonna commit your character if you don't completely block it. Which that would be a lot of damage to leave on the table. No longer getting +6 damage to all your moves. Very noticeable. Jet says, I don't even want to guessing game with you. He says, I don't want to leave it up to a block status. I just want to use secret history. Commit your character. No mini game here. No will he or won't he block here. We're just going to commit Scorpion. And Dan's going in. Scorpion's committed, but here's a Vicious Madness. It's still for 9 damage. We still got Soul of the Sword. It's a 5 mid for 9 that you potentially can't partial. I almost have the feeling that we either have the third throw or Because we have Undying Rage with a Desperation attack on top of our discard pile. And it's a 2-diff that draws you a card if it's blocked, and we didn't add that down. But speaking of Desperation, here's a Desperation 3 move on a 6. Nevose coming in. Gonna respond for -2 speed with Face of a Monster. Now we do have quite a few free enhances that Scorpion can play. We've got Quick to Act, we've got Soul of the Sword. This one's not very fast. Raiden doesn't pump speed, and you can play around the speed pump of Nevos very, very easily. You just got to have any enhance that you can throw out there that you don't crucially need. Got a crick in my neck. It's been a long time since I've sat in my computer chair for this long. We're on 3.5 hours. So still one mid. One mid for 10. Or sorry, we made it a low. We made it a low and we blocked with a low. And here comes another Vicious Madness. So we did just have another throw. And I think we had the Raiden play a non-attack. Yeah, we had the Raiden play a non-attack card as your next form. But Dan doesn't have another non-attack. He's gripping only heat. He had only fire orange cards. And the Aries Smiles effect of Raiden looks like it's going to keep us alive. Granted, that was only a 9 damage Vicious Madness, so like a partial lives. But we had 4 cards in our card pool. But no follow-up from Raiden. Maybe another reversal in hand. You have a speed reset, Champa Muay Thai. Put any attack to 1 speed. Very strong. Okay, 2 cards in hand for Ryan's a little scary. This time the throws do get the bonus damage as well, so might be a little bit worse this time around for old Raiden here. And yeah, he doesn't have the throw hate. He doesn't have the solution. And so Dan's gonna take down game 1. Although, man, Raiden was in the driver's seat. Raiden was, I would say, winning that game up until the exact last turn where he only built 4 foundations. You saw his hand was 2 more foundations. Absolutely heartbreaking, but Jet has had the interaction. He has had the counterplay. Post sideboarding, his decks have been tailor-made to beat his opponents. So let's see if he's got something special in the bag for Scorpion. All right, 2 solid builds here. 5 build for Scorpion going second. 4 build for Raiden, but you know how that works for Raiden. It's more like a 7 build. The question against Scorpions is, do you ever poke them early? And Jolt is a good poke. Sweeping Daggers is an okay poke, depending on what we grab. But you really got to be looking for something other than damage with your early pokes, and actually kind of hoping that you're not doing more damage. I mean, there's a lot of Scorpion players, granted we're committed right now, there's a lot of Scorpion players that will press every button on the character just to get a lower health total earlier. So it is a dangerous game that we play. All right, here's the old Vicious Madness. It doesn't have to be 14 damage to feel good, but it certainly does feel better when it is 14. Six mid for 8 throw, potential burn 2. So you can block this as a 6-speed move and take 8 or take 6, or just take 8. I guess 9. Now you take 7 or 9. This is why I hate this character, man. I hate playing against Scorpion. Your blocks are like you're blocking like nothing. You're blocking like 2 damage per move. Here we got the Deathfire Impalement. We do have the new Empress of Netherrealm here. So it's going to be 3 additional health that we can pay during this attack. That's not only going to help us get into Desperation, but that's another 3 speed and another 3 damage we can add to this maneuver here. We accidentally drew an extra card. Looks like he's gonna shuffle it back. We can confirm it was the rightmost card. So he did put the extra card back and shuffle that one in. If it happens again, I'll have to step in. Alright, bonus speed from quick to act. Looking for a potential sneaky reset here, but you know, Raiden's got the release, but he doesn't have the Ageless and Wise, which for Raiden specifically is an insanely good defensive foundation. 1-5 E commit -3 speed is top tier, right? Especially when you get to ready them. 14 for 19. The second attack of the turn is for Mondo Lethal. We're going to destroy another foundation. We're going to revoke that. What did we destroy the first one for? Because that one looks like we revoked the release. Oh, that was the play your next card, maybe? That was a Raiden Enhance. And yeah, 14 speed is gonna do it. It's just that easy, guys. It's just that easy when you're Scorpion. That's man, it's a little anticlimactic, I can't lie. It's a little rough. But yeah, I mean, even with what, +2 to the check, if you had +4 to the check, blocking a 15 speeder, not exactly in the card. So congratulations to Disaster Dan taking it down, winning the TMNT box. Hey, hey, hey.
Well, good games. Next time this happens, I won't bring a deck that's bad.
Hey, you made it to the finals. How bad could it be?
It was fun. I had a lot of fun turning my cards to the left and right.
Hey, for what it's worth, Jet, you had all kinds of crazy interaction that like none of us in chat were expecting, and it seemed like you had the answer for just about everything there. You know, one brick here or there, and I think it turns around for you.
Yeah, that game one, I blocked with the sweeping daggers instead of a 2 mid block in my hand, and
Yeah.
that was pretty bad. And then this game, I just got pretty greedy turn 2, and then exploded.
I thought you said the next card you play had to be a non-attack, so I was like, oh, I have to block with this card with the foundation. And then I realized it was like, hold on. I could have kept that foundation on hand to play another attack, but I messed up.
Yeah.
But then you cried out. So it didn't matter.
Alrighty, well, I'll let you get to your interview.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Good games, and thank you for this wonderful event, Mr. Ace Maneuvers.
yeah, and hey, congratulations on second place. You won $25. So
I like money, so that's great for me.
it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty good for an easy Saturday. Sunday is Sunday now.
Yeah.
Sam, I got my webcam.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Disaster Dan, the man himself, Dan Buchanan. We're here with the winner of the first ever Retro Ace Ace Arena, not Ace Maneuvers. Retro Ace Arena. Dan, tell me first and foremost, why'd you pick Scorpion? Oh, Dan, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah. Hi.
I can hear you now.
Hey, did you need my webcam on?
No. I just need the voice.
Okay, cool. You asked me the question about why Scorpion. So
Why
when
Scorpion?
Nationals
Yeah.
had that retro side event, that's when I decided I'll build my very first retro deck, and it was Scorpion because I like the desperation keyword. And so since then, I've kind of just played him the entire time. I dabbled in other retro decks, but Scorpion's kind of like the thing I own in physical, so it's the one I'm most comfortable with.
Okay, that makes sense. I can dig that. When it came to playing Scorpion for the Ace Arena, now it's on TTS. Is there any changes you made to the deck from your paper deck? Maybe cards you don't necessarily own?
Really, no. Like I could have played like Coffee Summon and stuff, but like I said, since I'm not played that card in physical, it's hard for me to like be comfortable playing those kind of cards. I think the only thing different between my deck in real life, my deck in this is I had 2 more demanding submissions in my side deck, but everything else that's in my deck that I played on TTS, I own physically.
Okay. Yeah, demanding submission is a really funny one because it is like an any keyword cancel, but you really want to cancel those EX3s and those powerful 3s, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely for the because like my speed hate is my character, and sometimes the Molina card. So you
Face
really
of a
the option
monster,
is
right?
I don't want to stop EX. Yeah, face of the monster. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
So basically, the answer is cancel their EX with submission, and
Okay.
then side in barrier shield and 2 more submission if they're playing a lot of big speed moves.
Yeah, I'll say Barrier Shield is a crazy one. We had the Power of the Abyss back in the day, but when I see Retro get played, I see Barrier Shield and it blows my mind, and I'm like, oh wait, no, that makes perfect sense. That card's insane.
Yeah, barrier shield is a crazy card.
Yeah. So How often do you get to play retro? Do you have like a retro
I only get to play
locals?
retro. I have 0 locals whatsoever.
Hey, chat was saying that's
I-
a lie. You just work on the wrong day.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I work. The only places that have a locals are on weekdays, and I work weekdays.
Yeah.
So the only time I ever get to play retro is a side event at a regional.
Okay.
Like I didn't even practice for this. I just took the deck I was comfortable with and played in this event.
Hey, it worked out. You won a box of TMNT that way, so can't
It's sick. I can't wait to get it.
can't hate the hustle. Did you let me ask you, did you struggle with any of your matches today? They were all pretty quick, which is, kind of how Scorpion goes. I think you won every game, didn't you? 2-0 everyone?
Yeah, I killed everyone. I would hate. I don't want to be the person that says the hardest game was that game one against Raiden because of the reversals and stuff. That was scary. Like that was probably the hardest matchup because of the reversals. The other 2 matchups, it was Coda and Scorp in a mirror match, and they both hit me on turn 2, which basically means I just kind of win the game.
Right. Yeah,
I
we
also
definitely
lost
saw
every die
that.
roll and still won every game 1.
Okay. So that was, you would say the rating game was probably the hardest one?
Yeah, just because he is playing reversals, and that can be like iffy with me trying to burn my own health because I don't know when
Okay.
like this big reversal will come after.
Nice. Let me ask you this. If there was another retro Ace Arena, would you sign up and would you play Scorpion again?
I would definitely sign up again. Scorpion's dependent on I don't know how I'm feeling. I always have this feeling of I want to build a second retro deck like physically, but since UVS doesn't like super support it, it's just a side event. It's hard for me to justify building another deck, so I don't ever think about building another deck. I don't go on UVS and build another one. So it's always just been Scorpion. But I would
Okay.
like to try other retro decks at some point.
Okay, yeah, I think technically it's up to the TOs at regionals, right? So it's
Yeah.
basically Sean O'Brien that's hosting it, not UVS.
Yeah, I'm fair. Yeah, I guess it's up to TOs. Either way, like, there's no like big reason for me to like invest a whole lot into retro, so I don't.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, did you have fun today?
I did. Scorpion is a blast. I love Desperation. I love Scorpion, so it was definitely fun.
Nice, nice.
I don't know
Well,
how fun it was for my opponents, but
yeah, Scorpion is, again, it's pretty polarizing. Scorpion to me is like that deck where even when I win, it's like, well, he did 20 damage to himself. I played one move after surviving.
yeah, it's basically like, hey, build up my hand. Say, can you do 28? If not, then you should just not hit me at all, and then just.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I hope everyone had fun at home. Is there any shout outs you want to give before I sign off here?
Shout out to Ace Maneuvers for doing these online events. Shout out to Undefeated Locals. That's the team I play for, and now it is also the team that owes me a box.
True, that's true. Marvin
Uh,
Emery, the GOAT.
Shout out to Mortal Kombat. Please get us another Mortal Kombat set, please. I would love more Desperation cards. Or just give me Desperation back. Shout out to Desperation.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Well, thank you again, my friend. Congratulations on winning the box, and I hope to see you in future Ace Arena events.
I definitely will be there.
All right, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, human beings around the world, that is going to do it for another Ace Arena. This one was short and sweet, as they typically are, but, help me help you guys with running these events. Spread the word as much as you can. Tell everyone what an awesome time you had, and, hopefully we can see these events grow and pick up some more steam. We had a lot of participation at the beginning of the year, but it seems to just be slowly dwindling, and I'm not that good at marketing, so I need your help. But otherwise, I'll have all the deck lists posted up. Undefeated at Locals, and hey, Marvin showed up. We've been talking about you. But I'll have all these deck lists posted probably in the Ace Arena channel in my Discord. Since there's only 6 of them, it won't be too hard to post those all later today. I won't really make a video of it, but hopefully you guys check that out. Hopefully you check out the VOD. The VOD will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow whenever YouTube is done loading it, if you want to watch these games back. But I had a lot of fun. We saw some really cool decks, saw some pretty cool interactions, and I hope to see more retro and more online play in the future. So once again, thank you to Undefeated at Locals for sponsoring this event. Shout outs to Stark Dark, November 1st and 2nd. Go check that out. And of course, go check out Webcam Warriors, the standard event, the webcam event that I'm going to be hosting September 20th. That event is capped at 32 players. It's $15 to enter. And right now, first place gets 5 Guilty Gear Blitz boxes and a $25 gift card to Stark Dark, with opportunities for that prizing to increase. So you're definitely gonna want to be on the lookout for